Lights go up, the crowd's in a buzz. Hawk talk, stop from mighty thud. Voices sharp like a razor blade. Breaking news like a wild cascade. Tune in now, it's time to soar. Hawk talk brings us what you're here for. Bold predictions, call it how we see. We're the voice that sets you free. Host on fire, you can't deny. Hot take sharp with no alibi. Game analysis deep as night. Get ready for an epic ride. Tune in now, it's time to soar. Hawk talk brings us what you're here for. Bold predictions, call it how we see. We're the voice that sets you free. We call the plays before they happen. Feel the rush as the crowd is clapping. Stand tall with your team above. Hawk talk anthem, feel the love. Tune in now, it's time to soar. Hawk talk brings us what you're here for. Bold predictions, call it how we see. We're the voice that sets you free. Tune in now, it's time to soar. Hawk talk brings us what you're here for. Bold predictions, call it how we see. We're the voice that sets you free. We're the free. Set you free. We're the voice that sets you free.
All right, here we go. So I've got some. We already got some news. No, why it's too dark in here? Hang on. There we go. Let a little bit more light in. We have got all the news. Free agency is officially live as of 4 minutes ago. We got news, we got updates, and it will not only be the big signings. I will give you everything that happens. Everything that I can find, everything I can go over. It will be slightly more laid back. I got lunch over here. I'm hungry. It's noon. Come on. But couple different things that came out this morning. So I'm actually talking to Penguin right now, which is a Falcon fan. And we're talking about the Tua situation. But I think it's a mistake. But as a Falcon fan, he's like, well, either you light a fire underneath Penix, or you draft a QB in the next year. And in that aspect, I agree. In that aspect, I do agree. If you can get Tua for $2 million a year to come in with Penix, sure. I mean, if that works, then as long as he's cheap, as long as Tua is cheap, then I think you're okay. 2027 is such a heavy quarterback draft. I mean, good gosh. All right. Here we go. Number one news of the day, Alec Pierce. Good gosh. I don't know how the Colts are going to afford all this. I really don't. They opened up some cap space yesterday. I've got the cap tab over here. I've got the live tab on the other side for all the news to come in. We'll bounce back and forth. We got NBA. We got March Madness starting up. But the Indianapolis Colts keep their wide receiver, but it's going to cost them $116 million. $116 million. 4-year, $116 million deal. That is almost $30 million a year. That is, that's $29 million a year. That is $29 million a year. I hope he ends up being worth it. I do. I hope he ends up being worth it. I don't know. I wanted him back, but we got to make room. As of this morning, we were just barely over the salary cap. Just barely. Other teams had opened up more cap. The Raiders are at $112 million in salary cap right now. $112 million. Sorry, everybody's texting me. I got people texting me. I got this, got that. So it works. And then, see, I'm going to get to kind of tease him right now. So the other news right away is Olamide Zaccheaus is signing with the Atlanta Falcons. Now, I have said on here multiple times, Darnell Mooney needs to be gone. Darnell Mooney needs to be gone. Zaccheaus is not the answer. Let's just be very clear. Zaccheaus is not the answer. Okay? But they do need to do whatever they can to shore up that receiving core. I would trade Mooney. I would draft a receiver in the second round. I'd stay young. I got cheesecake. Sorry about you. It was on sale. I had to go do groceries. I've already been on the bike today. I'm feeling good. I ain't going to lie, guys. I'm feeling good. Already been out on a bike ride. New free agency was starting. I got cheesecake. I'm happy. I'm freaking happy. Free agency in football with cheesecake. And, I mean, dude, I'm living good over here. I'm fine. It's a great freaking Monday. If you don't have this good of a Monday, I'm sorry. Normally I don't. But Damn, this is a good Monday. Got chocolate milk? We're rolling. All right. So, in other news that happened previously, you guys, if you've watched for any amount of time, you know my infatuation with long snappers. To me, they are some of the most unsung heroes of the team. They have very few times to shine and many opportunities to fail. Well, the Tennessee Titans re-signed their long snapper, Morgan Cox. He is now entering his 17th NFL season. So good for him. Good for him. Obviously, this isn't something that's real surprising, but the San Francisco 49ers are open to trading Trent Williams. The 49ers have $35.5 million in salary cap space. He is due $32 million in salary with a $38 million cap hit. Okay? So, well, what do you know? Stephen Holder was wrong 8 minutes ago. Shocker. Alec Pierce continues to be in demand. That one's 50-50 in my opinion. That's hilarious. That is absolutely hilarious. All right, Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce is coming back for another year. Travis Kelce is coming back for the 2026 season with the Kansas City Chiefs. The Patriots released Jelani Tavai. They are going to save roughly, let's see, he was going to earn $4 million, 5.2. So, yeah, they're going to save about $5 million. They are going to save about $5 million. The Texans re-signed Ed Ingram to a 3-year, $37.5 million deal. They also signed Sheldon Rankins on a 2-year deal that includes $12 million guaranteed. So there you go. All right, let's see. Okay, nothing else except the trades. So let's get into the trades here. So the Packers made another trade with the Cowboys. I don't know if they're trying to help the Cowboys get relevant again. I'm not sure. But they traded Rashawn Gary for a 2027 4th-round pick. And then on top of that, then we had the Dolphins trade Minkah Fitzpatrick to the Jets, where he is expected to sign a 3-year, $40 million deal for a 2026 7th-round pick. Good gosh. Montaric Brown is staying in Jacksonville on a 3-year, $33 million deal. The Buffalo Bills trade Taron Johnson instead of release, which is actually big for them because that gives them a higher draft pick. So that's not a bad one. That is not a bad one at all. All right, New England Patriots are working out a contract for a 1-year deal with Draymond Jones. Eric Stokes, good. This is a good move. The Raiders are signing Eric Stokes, 3-year deal worth $30 million. That's only $10 million a year. $10 million a year. I can get on board with a $10 million a year contract for a corner. $20 million guaranteed. I like that one. That one I really, really like. All right, we'll keep that there. Let's go look. So the NBA season and then obviously the college basketball season is really starting to pick up. Okay? I need more cheesecake. Told you, this is doing a different podcast. I don't know how long I'm going to be alive. We're going to have fun with free agency. I could be live for 2 hours. I could be live for an hour. I don't know. We got free agency news. And I love breaking news. So, and evidently people love it when I get excited. Couldn't understand why, but evidently people love it. So, In the NBA, take a break as everything's starting to roll in free agency wise. Here we go. So let's see here. Bam Adebayo joined Dwayne Wade. This is interesting. I did not realize this. Bam Adebayo joined Dwayne Wade as the only two players to score 10,000 points in Miami Heat history. I didn't realize there were only two. I mean, that's actually a little bit, that's a nugget I did not realize. Adebayo is currently second in the all-time Miami Heat rebounds list behind Udonis Haslem. He would need 207 rebounds in the final 17 games to surpass it this year. He'll get it next year. That's obvious. He will get it next year. Bam Adebayo is a very underrated player for the Miami Heat. I would never expect them to trade a stalwart cornerstone like him until they get to the late stages where it's just they have to. He is on pace to average 18 points per game for the 6th consecutive season as a big man. We're not talking about Wemby. We're not talking about, Joker. This kid has grown up so much in the Miami Heat, and a huge, huge congratulations to him. Huge congratulations to him. That is a very big deal. In injury news, Tyrese Maxey for the Philadelphia 76ers is sidelined, at least for the upcoming 2-game back-to-back. How long he's going to be out, we don't know. He suffered a sprain, and it's in his shooting hand. So hopefully he's able to get back soon, because the Sixers are falling in the standings. And there's not a lot that says it's going to stop. So we'll see how that goes. Jason Tatum comes back. Good gosh. Jason Tatum has not missed a step. He looks good. He feels good. Boston looks really good. He just gives them that extra aspect that they've been missing. That extra thing that they don't always have. That extra juice that you've seen in some games where they're missing it. Well, Tatum's brought it back. He's only got to score 20 points a game. He flirted with a freaking triple-double. Game 1, he was back. I don't know how you do that. I don't. But come on. You come back and you almost get a triple-double right away? Good grief. Anyway, so I do like how Boston looks now. Jamal Murray may be out tonight against OKC, the Denver and OKC rematch. Those games are exciting. I got two bets on that game tonight, actually. So can't wait for that. Cannot wait for that. When you look at the standings, check the free agency thing. Hang on. We ain't going to miss anything. I promise. I need to get a couple of things over here so that, I actually have stuff to talk about. All right, so here's the updated standings. The Pistons have lost 4 in a row, and it hasn't been good because they've lost the grasp of their lead in the Eastern Conference. Boom. So the Detroit Pistons are now only 2.5 games in front of the Boston Celtics. They are still 5 games in front of the Knicks, 6.5 in front of the Cavs. The Raptors, they're 9 games in front of, and the Magic and Heat, they are now 10 in front of. The Philadelphia 76ers, due to the fact that the Magic are winning and the Heat are winning, are now 8th in the Eastern Conference, and I do believe they can drop to 10. Tonight, the Sixers play the Cavaliers. I see the Cavaliers beating them. I do not see a way that the Sixers can beat them without Tyrese Maxey. Mitchell and Harden are going to be too much. They'll lose another game. The Atlanta Hawks, don't look now. They are on a 6-game winning streak after the pressure got put on. And now the Hornets and the Hawks are both trying to climb and make this very interesting in the Eastern Conference. This season is not over yet. It is not over yet. Don't expect that it is. In the Western Conference, all the drama is going to be between position 3 and 7. Like I said, I don't see the Suns getting out of 7. I think without Dillon Brooks, they don't have enough power, but everything is sitting there between 3 and 7. All right, here we go. Refresh this. Make sure you haven't missed anything. Okay, the Pittsburgh Steelers are bringing back veteran linebacker Cole Holcomb on a 2-year, $5 million deal. That is a very good, very team-friendly deal. Definitely a special team backer, but not somebody that is only stuck in special teams. So I like that. The Jets are currently looking at Alex Anzalone and Devin Bush to be able to fill in the holes in their linebacking position. That is absolutely huge. The Patriots signing Draymond Jones. Here's the deal. 3 years, $39.5 million deal. He gets $14.5 million in year number 1. So it's a front-loaded contract. So 14.5 the first year, and then you got 12.5 and 12.5 and 12.5 years number 2 and 3. That's actually a big one. That is actually a big one to me based off of how everything is currently going. The Patriots front loading, so they save their money for their rookies later on. Like that move, good cap management. All right, the Western Conference. The Oklahoma City Thunder are 2.5 in front of the Spurs. The Thunder are 8-2 in the last 10. The Spurs are 9-1 in the last 10. The Timberwolves are 8-2 in the last 10. All 3 of the top teams currently in the Western Conference have been on a roll. The Timberwolves, though, are 9.5 games back of the Thunder. Legitimately, only the Spurs could catch Oklahoma City. And I will say, there's certain teams Oklahoma City does not want to face. San Antonio is one of them. But I don't think they want to play Denver. I really don't. Especially if they're going to be injured. Hartenstein out, Caruso hurt. SGA is, if somebody bangs him up pretty good. We saw that Thunder team fall apart when SGA got hurt. The reality is San Antonio is sitting right where they need to, and they're doing it the old-fashioned way. They didn't go get Giannis. They're using their young players, and this is scary. This is scary how good this Spurs team is. Minnesota is third, a half game in front of the Houston Rockets, which are a half game in front of the Lakers, which are tied with the Denver Nuggets. And both of those two teams are 2 games in front of the Phoenix Suns. So the Western Conference between position 3 and 7 is technically wide open, but guaranteed between 3 and 6, which is separated by 1 game, there's going to be a lot of movement for the rest of the year. Now, can Can San Antonio catch the Thunder? We'll have to find out. The more pressure you put on the Thunder to perform, the better and better I think it is for other teams. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, never mind. Okay. This. Okay. All right. Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker is signing with the Kansas City Chiefs, which means Jeremiah Love will not be a Kansas City Chief. So now my feeling is maybe they figured that out. I think they're going to get Sadiq from Oregon at pick number 9. If Kenneth Walker is healthy, this will be a very good signing. If he's healthy, this will be a good signing. If he's injured like he has been, if he's injured like history has shown, it's not going to mean anything. They're still going to be running with Pacheco. There's still going to be a complete carousel at running back. If he's healthy, this is a great move. But you're bringing in a back that has injury issues. They have done this before. And you would think, with all the injuries that the Chiefs have gone through, they wouldn't sign somebody, a running back, that has knee and foot issues. You wouldn't think. But hey, it is what it is, I guess. I mean, it's a big move. The Chiefs fans are absolutely happy right now. They're ecstatic right now that they got Kenneth Walker. Number one need they knew they had was running back. Offensive line, kind of, but from everything we've heard, they're going to run with the offensive line that they have. So you needed a running back to take pressure off of the quarterback. I love the signing if he's healthy. I think it's an outstanding signing if he's healthy. Travis Kelce is coming back, but he's old. He's old. Drafting Sadiq would be perfect for them to get younger, to be able to use more 2 tight end sets with Sadiq being out there. Really, the Giants also made an offer for Kenneth Walker. They made an offer for Kenneth Walker, and Kenneth Walker signed with the Chiefs. I don't blame him. The Giants have Tyrone Tracy and Cam Scadaboo. They don't need Walker. If anything, I would go. A guy like Tyler Allgeier, if you're not really sold on Tracy, fine. But that's really what I would do. I'll get the numbers for the Kenneth Walker signing here in a second. There we go. So let's see. Good. Yeah. So no numbers have been released yet. Those will be released here in a second. But of course they did. But that's not. The Giants don't need Kenneth Walker. That's good that he didn't go. They don't need him. They don't need him. We all saw what Scadaboo did last year. Tyrone Tracy is decent. They already, got rid of Singletary. Why would you want? I don't know. I loved Walker coming out of Michigan State, but to me, he's not a top-end running back. He's good, but he's not great. For goodness sakes, Seattle let him go after winning the Super Bowl, and they're running with Charbonnet. Charbonnet's faster, twitchier. He's a little bit more healthy. Can you blame him? I mean, come on. It's not rocket science here. There's a reason Seattle let him go. I don't understand why the Giants put in an offer, but the Chiefs, that's a big move. And that is a huge free agent off the board 30 minutes into the day. That is a huge free agent off the board. The other one was obviously Alec Pierce, who was going to have no less than 10 offers. Obviously, Alec Pierce was also a ginormous move for the Colts to be able to re-sign him. But the Colts are going to have to make some really interesting moves to get back underneath the cap. I mean, they are going to be over the cap quickly. They're working on the deal with Daniel Jones. You know what? If I'm Daniel Jones, I may want to go back to Indy, but I'd see what I get offered to pull the chain a little bit. You know the GM and the coach are on the hot seat. You know the new owner, Carly, is eventually going to make her stamp on the team. I understand she's slow playing everything. And I said when everything happened, she was always going to look at the bad guy for now. She was always going to be looked at as the bad guy. But I do believe slow playing it the way she is gives her time to get comfortable, a little bit more comfortable in the role as owner. And then also put pressure on both the GM and the coach. Because let's be clear, losing all those games in a row is not on the GM. That is not on the GM. That's on the head coach. The GM doesn't call the game plan. The GM doesn't do any of that. None. The GM sets up the roster. Has he done a great job? No. Has Chris Ballard done a good job? Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Cade Otton is going back to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Good for them. Cade Otton just fits in Tampa Bay. Doesn't need a lot. Humble guy. Does his job. Some years he's way up here, and some years, kind of middle of the pack like he was this last year. No big deal. Really, no big deal. All right, let's see. Yep, no news on what the money is yet for Kenneth Walker. Once that comes live, I will let you know. All right, so tonight's games in the NBA. We do have some big games. Some games you're not going to want to miss. Philadelphia at Cleveland without Maxey. Like I said, I think Cleveland's going to own that basketball game tonight pretty easily. Memphis at Brooklyn, potentially a snoozer, only because you're not going to know who the heck is playing on the court. Denver at OKC, that is a big game. OKC is trying to keep pace over the Spurs. They get these big games. They can't afford to lose them. That game is on Peacock tonight. Golden State at Utah. Utah took Denver to the brink. Golden State is not great. Watch for Utah tonight to get their 20th win. I got the bet locked in. I'm picking the Jazz at home. Keontae George has been on fire. I like what the Jazz team is doing. You guys know this. So I've got the Jazz knocking off the Warriors tonight. I think it's actually going to be a highly entertaining game. Should be fun to watch. And then the New York Knicks are in LA to play the Clippers. Also on Peacock, the second game of the doubleheader. This is a big game. The Knicks coming off the loss yesterday, playing the Clippers. Can they bounce back? Can they bounce back? Can they move everything? Can they get the ball rolling back in the right direction because they are losing pace on first and second, sitting there in the Eastern Conference? Tomorrow's games are going to be a little bit interesting. So you guys know, every week I do the King of the Court, which as of right now is the points, rebounds, and assists leader for the night altogether. So I got this game tomorrow night. And yes, this is a preview ahead of time, but I got this game tomorrow night, and I got to figure out what in the world to do. Because the Timberwolves are at the Lakers. Luka Doncic versus Anthony Edwards. Luka Doncic versus Anthony Edwards. Gotta love it. Tomorrow night, the Pacers are at the Kings. It's going to be an interesting one. That is for last place in the NBA, by the way. The loser will be last in the NBA. The winner will be second to last. Just thought you should know. The Hornets play the Trailblazers, which I think is going to be an underappreciated game. The Hornets and Blazers are both sitting at 10th in their conferences, but both of them are getting better. The Blazers are only 3 games below 500. The Hornets are only 1. Don't look now. These young teams are starting to put it together as the season goes on. But then the Celtics are playing the Spurs tomorrow night on NBC in San Antonio. You are not going to want to miss that game. You are absolutely not going to want to miss that game. The Celtics in San Antonio. That game potentially, obviously every matchup right now when you have a big one is potential. That's a potential NBA Finals matchup. That is a legit potential NBA Final matchup. Celtics and Spurs tomorrow night. Underrated game tomorrow night. The Raptors at the Rockets. The Raptors seem to get small when they play big teams. They do. They seem to get small when they play big teams. So we'll see how that goes down. The Wizards are playing the Heat. Mavericks are playing the Hawks. And the Suns are playing the Bucks, who do have Giannis back, but it hasn't really helped. All right, let's go check back in on free agency. Here we go. Cornerback. The Rams are fixing this. The Rams are fixing their corner issue, and they're doing it in a very good fashion. Very, very good fashion. All right, they are signing Jalen Watson, another former Kansas City Chief corner, to a 3-year deal. So they will now have Jalen Watson and Trent McDuffie. There you go. So the Rams are not playing around. They knew corner was their issue, and they have gotten McDuffie. Now they've gotten Watson. That is absolutely huge. The Commanders and Patriots made aggressive pushes for Alec Pierce. I don't know what the money was at, but they did make aggressive pushes for Pierce, who ultimately came back to the Colts. If I were the Commanders or the Patriots, I would try to trade for Michael Pittman Jr. now, because they need cap room. The Colts need cap room. Like, this is what's going to be really, really bad. And yes, this is a team that I know really, really well because it's sitting here, and I've been studying them and watching them basically my entire life. But here's what's not good. The Colts cap situation is so bad. It's so bad that you're going to have everybody that's injured getting paid this year. Now, hopefully Sauce comes back. Hopefully Charvarius Ward is healthy enough to play. If he's not, I kind of hope he retires. I mean, I've said for him to retire. That was a horrible concussion. He had bad, bad symptoms from that concussion. He should have retired. I will stand by that 100%. Daniel Jones is going to be out at least the first 6 games. You try to bring him back early, he's going to get injured. It's going to ruin. You're going to ruin everything. It ain't going to work. It just isn't going to work. You're not making the playoffs this year, and you're not sweeping the Titans again this year. It's just not happening. It's not something that it's unrealistic. And everybody goes, yeah, but they were 7-1 and they were 8-2 before the injury. Right. Against bad teams. And when we played the Jaguars and the Seahawks and the Texans and the Niners, what happened? We looked like garbage. We couldn't win one more game. One more game the rest of the season. So don't tell me that him being out 6 games is okay. You could start 0-6. Wait, what part of that works for you? As a Colts fan, we can't be okay with starting 0-6. It's not something we should be like, yeah, that may happen. No! Don't be okay with it. And don't be okay with signing an injured quarterback for a lost season. Yeah, we're going to pay him $35 to $40 million a year, first year, to be injured. It makes no sense to me. The Chiefs lowered the cap number for Patrick Mahomes. Lowered it. Not raise it. All right. Hey, big get right here. Big get right here. The Panthers have signed Jalen Phillips to a 4-year, $120 million deal with the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers, $80 million in guarantees. $80 million in guarantees. I like this signing for the Panthers. I do. I like this signing for the Panthers. Ha! I knew it! I knew it! Boom! I was right. The Colts are trading Michael Pittman Jr. I told you they had to. I told you it was going to happen. I said they had to trade Pittman because they don't have the cap room. They are trading Michael Pittman Jr. to the Steelers. That's all I see right now. That's all the info I got. I don't care. I was right. I knew they had to trade Michael Pittman. So this team is officially Alec Pierce and Josh Downs. Those are the receivers now. Those are the receivers now. They'll probably sign another one or draft. Shoot, just draft a guy. Just draft, for gosh sakes. Draft Elijah Surratt. He played really good there in Lucas Oil. Just draft Elijah Surratt. Stay cheap. That is huge. That is absolutely huge. I like it. They got rid of Michael Pittman. I love this. This is perfect. The problem is, who's going to throw him the ball? Who is going to throw Pittman or DK Metcalf the football in Pittsburgh right now? We don't know who that's going to be. Who the heck is going to be doing that job? I don't know. But I love the fact that Michael Pittman is getting sent to the Steelers. Oh, please let it be for a third round pick. Knowing how all this other stuff has been, it's probably not. Knowing how this other stuff has gone, it probably won't be. All right. Okay. Calm down for a second. Calm down. I need more chocolate milk. I'm doing all this talking. I need more chocolate milk. I have got to go get more chocolate milk. Like, what in the world? All right. Let's see here. There's that. There's that. There's that. Hey, I'm going to get more chocolate milk. We're going to be live for a while. Hang on. I will be right back. All right. Bam. Okay. I'm back. Woo! Hey, listen. Talking all this time. I mean, good grief. I needed more chocolate milk to be able to go along with everything. All right. Let's see here. Any more news on it? Nope. Okay. Let me see if I can find anything on this app. Do-do-do. Do-do-do. All right. There we go. Okay. I like it. 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 Man, that one's big. Man, that one's big. Who's going to be the first quarterback to fall? Who's going to be the first quarterback to fall? Is it going to be Tua? Is it going to be Kyler? Does Aaron Rodgers finally stop playing around? I don't know. That one's going to be interesting. That one's going to be interesting. All right, here we go. Laramie Tunsil. Laramie Tunsil reached an agreement on a 2-year, $60.2 million contract extension. There are $61.5 million in guarantees, including the signing bonus of $32.5 million. That is $32.5 million. Good gosh. Okay, so hopefully what they're hoping is Laramie Tunsil will resort back to what he was in Houston. He will be more comfortable in this offense, and that he'll be able to play. That he'll be worth it. I hope for their sake he is. Left tackle is vitally important. Jane Daniels has already got injuries. I do like the number is really high. The number is really high, but I do like that deal. I called it! Boom! I called it! Yes! I was right again! The Packers, they lost their backup quarterback. The Miami Dolphins are signing Malik Willis, 3 years, $67.5 million deal. $45 million are guaranteed. I told you. I was right. I knew Malik Willis was going down there. That is exactly what has just taken place. 3 years, 67.5. So we got what? 30, 32. So a little over $32 million a year. Listen, So the cap hit. Let's go over this. So the cap hit for Tua. The first one to fall is Malik Willis. Cool. All right. First quarterback, finally, that domino went. Whoop. All right, it's over. So the fallout from Tua. It's not as bad when you look at everything as a whole. And here's why I say that. Tua carries a $61 million dead cap hit this year. Okay? $61 million cap hit. But he is only $37 million next year. Which means you gain $24 million this offseason just in that. So you're automatically growing your cap after this year just by default. Just by default. Okay? To me, that's a very important one. To me, that is very, 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 very important. And I like how the Dolphins, the new general manager, they're going to be setting stuff up. This is what they're doing. 3-year deal. Very team-friendly deal. I guess that's what? 23 million was off. So $22 million a year with $45 million guaranteed. Okay. So $22 million a year. Yeah, it gives them all the flexibility in the world. If he works out, great. If he doesn't work out, oh well. Oh well. So I like the move. I like the move. Jeff Hafley brings Malik Willis with him down to Miami. I don't hate the move. I called it. I said it would happen. And there it is. The Ravens are signing offensive lineman John Simpson to a 3-year, $30 million deal. 3 years, $30 million deal. Okay. The Ravens needed offensive line help. They have not. I don't think they're able to sign Lindenbaum. So there's who's going to be in his place. That's who it's going to be. It's going to be John Simpson, 3-year, $30 million deal, $10 million a year. Absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. The Bears continue loading up on defense. The Bears signed Neville Gallimore to a 2-year, $12 million deal, so $6 million a year, for another big tackle in the middle of that defense to help against the run games of the Green Bay Packers, the Detroit Lions, and I'm sure what they hope in Minnesota will also be the Viking run game. They hope. And there it is, right there. Isaiah Likely follows John Harbaugh to the New York Football Giants on a 3-year deal. This is a huge move. Huge move for the New York Giants. This is a great move for them. And they only get it because Harbaugh's there. Isaiah Likely does not join the Giants unless John Harbaugh's there. That is abundantly clear, abundantly obvious. Like that's exactly how it works. That is what's going on. Now, with that means Theo Johnson's going to be tight end number 2. Theo Johnson will be tight end number 2. Okay. They already have 2 tight ends. They do need receiver. They do need their receiving core. They need another one to go with Neighbors. Neighbors, I'm hoping, will be healthy. I hope. Because they've definitely been struggling. So we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. But I love that move. That's a great move for the Giants. Likely, that is a huge move. Huge move. All right, Pittman Wow, they move fast. Pittman is getting a new 3-year, $59 million deal. New team and new money for Pittman. They're in Pittsburgh, which that deal is less than the deal he signed with the Colts. So his value did go down. Now, I have not seen the amended one yet. Let me look. Nope. Still nothing yet on what the Steelers gave away. All right, let's see here. Vikings have agreed to terms with cornerback James Pierre on a 2-year, $8.5 million deal. He was with the Pittsburgh Steelers last year. And it has $3.7 million guaranteed. Remember, the Vikings don't have a lot of cap space. They do not have a lot of cap space. So, because of that, obviously, it's not going to be big spending at this point in time because they just can't. They just can't. Let's see here. All right, boom, boom, boom. Good. Oh yeah, the Bengals did not tender Jake Browning. So Jake Browning is a free agent. He is a free agent. And there are certain teams that I think could actually work with Jake Browning. I really do. I think there are certain teams that could work with Jake Browning. I would actually expect one of the questioning teams. So, like if the 49ers were to trade Mac Jones, I could see them signing Jake Browning. I could see the Chiefs signing Jake Browning. I could easily see the Chiefs signing Jake Browning. That would easily happen. I think it's teams that already have a quarterback that just wants somebody. I mean, Jake Browning can launch the football. He can launch the ball. So because of that, I think he's got a pretty big market. And I do like how everything is with them. I really do. So that'll work. All right. No. Nope. That's all they did. Cool. All right. The Panthers are re-signing Caleb Evans to a 1-year deal, keeping their corner in the fold. All right, nothing new on there yet. Okay, what about here? Let's go to my other sources. Let's see. Nope. What have we done? Go back to this. Let's make sure we don't miss anything. This is the thing. You got to watch so many different areas while you're doing this today. All right. Yep. The Colts have re-signed Blake Group. They did re-sign him. So I think Spencer Schrader will be okay, though. But they do have a backup just in case. All right, let's go over to here. Got more sources that I can go off of. All right. Nope, don't feel like it. Thank you very much. All right. Yes. Okay. That's it. Nope. No news on the trade yet. Okay. No news on the trade. All right, but we do have the feed going off. All right, the Jets reached an agreement with Joseph Asai on a 3-year, $36 million. 3-year, $36 million. $22.5 million guaranteed. $22.5 million fully guaranteed. All right, not bad. Not bad. They are revamping their defense. The Saints did sign John Ridgeway, defensive tackle, to a 2-year, $6.2 million deal. They don't have a bunch of cap space either. They got $20 million. They got $20 million. They don't have a ton. The Vikings were still kind of over the cap heading into the day. The Bills also were still over the cap. So were the Ravens, the Lions, and the Cowboys, evidently, after the trades that they made. So we still got teams that are over the cap right now. How that works, I don't know. I thought you had to be legit under the salary cap threshold before 12 o'clock today. And I don't see how those teams were under it. They didn't make any moves that I'm aware of. I've been watching all morning. They didn't make any moves. So I don't know what they did. But nonetheless. All right. I'll check this again. No. All right. We're good. We are good. There we go. Okay. So, back to basketball. But this time, we're going to NCAA. We are going NCAA. The Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Let's see. Hang on. The Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets are firing Damon Stoudemire after their last place finish in the ACC. They went 2-16 in the ACC. Yes, you heard me right. 2-16. Stoudemire was 42-55 over 3 seasons. They finished this year with a 12-game losing streak. Think about this. Georgia Tech was 11-8. They then lost 12 in a row to finish 11-20. Georgia Tech has only made the NCAA tournament one time since 2010. One time. All right. Then, in other news, Fred Hoiberg and Nebraska have agreed to a 3-year coach extension. Let's see, a 3-year contract extension, 15 wins in Big Ten conference play. The Big Ten tournament will start with Nebraska as the number 2 seed. They will start with Nebraska as the number 2 seed. That is impressive. Nebraska is not a basketball school. We all know this. And Fred Hoiberg has that team. They've now won 20-plus games in 3 consecutive seasons. That's for the first time in school history. They enter the Big Ten tournament with a 26-5 record on the year and the highest ranking ever of being number 5 in the country in January. So, listen, he deserves it. Fred Hoiberg, absolutely fantastic, deserves every little bit of it. Every little bit of it. So, in other news, let's see where it is. There it is. This is one that's interesting. So I had to look this morning at who in the world this college was. So, Queen's University. Queen's University. They're the Royals. They're in the Atlantic Sun Division, which is the same division as Austin PA, Florida Gulf Coast, a bunch of teams. Okay. But they won the tournament. And they're going to make their first ever NCAA tournament. Their first ever NCAA tournament. So congratulations to Queens. Congratulations to Queens. Boston College has fired college basketball coach Earl Grant. So another ACC head coach is gone, ending his 5-year run at the school. He had 3 years remaining on his contract. The Eagles were also 11-20 this year, 4-14 in ACC play, finishing only ahead of the Yellow Jackets. That would be how you get fired. That would be how you get fired. All right, let's go back over here. Here we go. The Titans have agreed to terms with Mitch Trubisky on a 2-year deal. The Jets continue being aggressive, have signed Kingsley Ngabre to a 1-year, $10 million deal. So the Jets are being outrageously active. Heading into today, they had $60 million in cap space, and they are using it. They have $91 million in dead cap money. Let's see. Let's look at what next year's dead cap money for them is. As of right now, nothing's calculated for next year. We do know Miami's going to have dead cap next year, but we'll see how that all plays out. But right now, the Jets shouldn't have much dead cap next year, which is huge, which is absolutely huge. So I like that move. I do. I really like that move. Scroll back up because more things keep happening. Demario Davis. Demario Davis, the former Saints linebacker, is signing a 2-year, $22 million deal that includes $15 million guaranteed. He's 37 years old. $15 million guaranteed, signing with the Jets. So the Jets are still dishing out money. Listen, if you need some cash, go line up in front of the New York Jets office. They are dishing out money left and right now. They still don't really have a quarterback, but they're dishing out money for defense. So if you know how to play any type of defense, go out there. Just head out there right now. Who knows? Maybe you'll get $2 million. Maybe, listen, sign a 2-year, $5 million contract. Get $3 million guaranteed. Go play. Go get hit. Get injured. Retire. You know, make money. Just make money. All right, the Jets are outrageously active. They don't want another year like last year. That is clear. That is clear. They do not want another year like last year. So, okay. All right, so trading Pittman. Let's see. Trading Pittman will open up about $24 million in salary cap space for the Colts. Holy cow. Holy cow. But I still do not have any info on what it was that the Colts gave up. Okay, it is. It's a swap of, there it is, swap of late round picks. Okay. Okay, so the Steelers are going to get Michael Pittman and a late round pick, and the Colts are going to get an earlier late round pick for Michael Pittman Jr. But they saved $24 million in cap space, which is how they were able to sign Alec Pierce. So that's pretty obvious. Okay, fair enough. All right, Austin Hooper is going back to the Atlanta Falcons to play alongside Kyle Pitts on a 1-year, $3.25 million deal. All right. I like that move. I really do. I really like that move. A veteran back with the Falcons. Friendly deal. They still need a receiver, so either they got to draft one or they got to make a move other ways. But, okay, that one's not bad. That one is not bad. All right, let's see. Eastern Michigan and Western Michigan both fired their coaches. They're both 10-21. FYI, I'm just going to take a shot in the dark here. But I believe going 10-21 is the fastest way to get fired in the NCAA. I believe, based off of what's happened this morning, that that's the best way to get fired as a head coach in college basketball. I could be wrong. But I do believe that that's it. I do believe that that is it. So, that is a good deal. That is a very good deal. All right, so late round pick swaps. We know that's there. Let me go to the individual teams here. Let's figure out some of the other stuff here real fast. There's that. There's that. Good. Malik Willis is the first one. We know that. Okay. Nothing else as of right now. So that one's okay. We're going to roll with that. Good enough. Okay. Now, here we go. So let's look at some baseball for a second. So, the World Baseball Classic. The good news is, because this is, in my opinion, one of the most even matchups when it comes to USA versus the world there is anywhere. Okay, it is one of the most even. Japan can beat us. Cuba could definitely beat us. Puerto Rico, this one is a big one. This is a big one. Okay. So currently, the United States are 2-0. They've scored 24 runs. They've allowed 6. Mexico is 2-0. They've scored 24 runs. They've allowed 2. Brazil and Great Britain are 0-3. They've scored 5 runs and 7 runs, and they've allowed 39. Don't get any pictures from Brazil. Just going to throw that out there. Do not get any pictures from Brazil. And Great Britain has allowed 24 runs. So I'm just gonna throw that out there. Brazil, get the hitters. Maybe. They've only scored 5 runs. But definitely don't get the pitchers. Definitely don't go after pitchers. But nonetheless, so the schedule is, so here we go. Today, right now on Fox Sports 2, FS2 and FS1, Colombia is playing Panama. The Dominican Republic is playing Israel. Brazil plays Great Britain later today. Actually, right now, they're going to go live. Tonight, you've got Cuba and Puerto Rico. That's going to be a really good game. You've got Venezuela and Nicaragua. And then you've got the Mexico against the United States at 8 o'clock on Fox. On Fox. Korea beat Australia earlier in the Tokyo Dome. And then tomorrow, the United States plays Italy. Okay, that'll work. All right, so that's the World Baseball Classic. Nothing else going on, but the season is rolling around very, very quickly. All right, we'll look at hockey here in a second. Let's go back and double check and see what else is going on. All right, the Giants have signed punter Jordan Stout from the Baltimore Ravens. Okay, so the Ravens to the Giants is still not done. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, this is an interesting move. They signed Kenny Gainwell away from the Pittsburgh Steelers. 2 years, $14 million deal. 2 years, $14 million deal. And then on top of that, they just signed a 2-year, $17 million deal with Alex Anzalone going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So back-to-back move by the Bucs. Kenny Gainwell, 2 years, $14 million. Alex Anzalone on that defense, 2 years, $17 million. Buccaneers, decent spenders, came into today with, hang on, let me get back to it, about $20 million in salary cap. About $20 million in salary cap. So let's what? They're slowly creeping in on it. They are slowly creeping in on it. All right, let's leave that for a second. Let's go to the NHL. So the NHL, as of right now, we're looking pretty good. Let's look at yesterday's games, I should say. Yesterday, the Colorado Avalanche won in a shootout over the Minnesota Wild, 3-2. The Pittsburgh Penguins beat the Boston Bruins in overtime, 5-4. Buffalo and Tampa Bay decided to not play any goalies. The Sabres beat the Lightning 8-7. Evidently, being a goalie was optional last night. Potentially. The Dallas Stars beat the Blackhawks in overtime, 4-3. The Red Wings beat the Devils 3-0. The Blues beat the Ducks 4-0. And the Edmonton Oilers beat the Vegas Knights 4-2. In the NHL standings, the Tampa Bay Lightning. That was a big game last night because Tampa Bay is fighting with the Buffalo Sabres for that top spot in the Atlantic Division. The Buffalo Sabres are now up by 2 points over the Lightning, 84-82. The Red Wings are right behind at 79, and the Canadiens are at 78. In the Metropolitan, the Hurricanes are at 86, the Penguins are at 78, the Islanders are at 77. All right, then we go to the Western Conference. The Avalanche still have a big lead over the Stars. 7-point lead, 95-88. The Wild, though, are right behind at 85 points. The Anaheim Ducks, they're at 73. The Vegas Knights are at 72. And the Edmonton Oilers are at 70. So the Pacific Division is definitely close. All right, here we go. Back to the NFL. Reggie Gilliam, this is not good. This is not good. The Bills lost their fullback. They're going to need to figure out how to replace him. The Patriots got him. 3-year deal worth up to $12 million with $6 million in guaranteed money. $6 million in guaranteed money. Gilliam gets $4.4 million in the first year of the deal to join that team over there in the AFC East. A punter, Ryan Wright, the former Viking punter, 4-year, $14 million deal with the New Orleans Saints, $8 million guaranteed. $8 million guaranteed. Good for him. Punter's getting paid. Pat McAfee will be happy. Pat McAfee will be happy. All right. All right. Okay, so there's that. There's that. What are we at? 120? Okay. 120. All right, you know what? We'll be live for another 10 minutes. We'll be alive for 10 more minutes. See what happens as things keep rolling in. See what happens. All right, let's see if we actually have any more news on the actual picks that got traded and what was actually happening. To say late round picks, I want to know which round picks, though. Like, that's my issue. I want to know which picks are there because, you know, It just, I want to know. I want to know. It's that simple. I want to know. Let's go back to the draft order. All right, so the Indianapolis Colts, late round pick. Which one would they trade? Well, they have 3 7th round picks. So I wonder if they traded Pittman and a 7th round pick to the Steelers for a 5th round pick, which would give the Colts 2 5th round picks. That would not be bad. That would not be bad. I actually really wouldn't have a problem with that whatsoever. Would not have a problem with that at all. That would actually be good. If we just traded it for a 6th, it's a salary cap dump. Like yesterday, the Packers got Zaire Franklin from the Colts. That was a salary dump move by the Colts, getting nothing really in return. We're like really getting nothing in return. We didn't even get a future pick in return. Like it was nothing. So that trade happened. Big J texted me right away going, well, that's one way to dump salary cap. I guess here's another. Basically trade a player for nothing. You can get a 4th round pick out of Pittman. I mean, I guess that's it. Huh. I don't know. All right. Let's see what else is going on here. Good. I'm going to the individual team pages, find out what they do. The problem is sometimes the team pages are actually slower than everybody else. But nonetheless. All right, so as of this morning, here are the top 10. I'll give you the top 10 before all these moves took place. Here are the top 10 teams with cap space. The Raiders have 112 million. The Titans had 92 million. Commanders had 86 million. Chargers with 73 million. Jets with 59. Then the Seahawks with 55 million. Cardinals with 47 million. Bengals with 47 million. Patriots with 43 million. And then the number 10 team, the San Francisco 49ers with $35.5 million in salary cap space. Look for them to make that trade. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Perfect. That is the top 10 teams. So obviously, it drastically drops. There are a lot of teams from the 49ers down to the Eagles. They're really only, there's a lot of teams sitting between the $12 to $25 million range in salary cap space. That looks to be pretty normal as of right now. That does. It looks to be pretty normal as of right now. All right, here we go. Corner moves. The Commanders are signing Amik Robinson, the former Detroit Lion corner, to a 2-year, $16 million deal with $9.3 million guaranteed. 2-year deal, $16 million, $9.3 guaranteed. The Bears making a big move, signing the former Seahawks safety Kobe Bryant to their defense. So the Bears going after defense. Bears are making moves on defense now, trying to shore it up, trying to make a big move, big push to be able to make a deep run in the playoffs next year. They definitely had some challenges. Let's just say that. They definitely had some challenges. But I do think they're moving in the right direction. I definitely think they are moving in the right direction. I like it. All right, it is 1:25. We've been live for almost an hour and a half. The sun is bright, bright and shining. There is not a cloud in the sky whatsoever. Absolutely love it. I'm probably going to go for another bike ride because why not? Might as well. But nonetheless, all right, let's see if anything happens in the next 5 minutes, and then let's get out of here on a Monday because we got plenty to talk about. We're going to have more to talk about tomorrow. I know this ain't over. I know this isn't it. You know this isn't it. We still got Kyler Murray. We still got Tua. We got to see if any trades happen. Does anybody trade for Davis Mills? Does anybody trade for Mac Jones? Does anybody offer the 49ers? Are the 49ers able to trade Trent Williams? What will the Bills do? Because the Bills just lost Reggie Gilliam, which is a big piece of their offense. He was a vital part of their offense. So, listen, I'm not sure what teams will be able to do. If I had to guess, I did say Kyler Murray to Minnesota makes sense. If you get him for cheap, and I mean cheap, the Vikings can pull it off. I would much rather go after a guy like Mac Jones. I would make that trade. I would make Penix for Jones. I would just make that trade. What type of interest? Who's going to go after Trent Williams? Listen, Trent Williams has a huge cap hit. But if you're a team that needs offensive line, that is looking for a stalwart at that left tackle position, and it's not that you're majorly questioning, it's just that you've got questions at your left tackle position. If you have questions at left tackle and you've got the cap space, why not take a flyer on Trent Williams? Would it really be that bad for the Raiders to try to get Trent Williams? Would it really be that bad for the Titans to go get Trent Williams or the Jets? The Commanders just signed Laramie Tunsil. They're not going to go after him. But if you need a left tackle, why not go after him? It doesn't make any sense to stay. It doesn't make any sense to stay where you're at. If you need to make a move and you've got the cap space, do it. Your fans are going to be happy with you. Do it. They want you to make a move. Don't wait around until the last second and then all of a sudden be like, well, we missed out on this guy and we missed out on this guy. And we could have had him. Listen, the Commanders are happy and the Patriots are happy that their teams were pursuing Alec Pierce really hard. Alec Pierce, though, did want to stay in Indianapolis. That is the type of guy that he is, the type of player he is. But he knew that if he just re-signed, his value may not be there. So by delaying signing, he got the contract he wanted. Great for him, but he wanted to be here. You lost out because the guy wanted to stay where he was. That's okay. That's okay. You can't get mad about that. And the Commanders fans and the Patriot fans seeing that you are aggressively making that push, it matters to them. It absolutely matters to them. So you've got to make pushes. You've got to make runs because they need it. Your fans need to see that you're trying. The Indianapolis Colts fans, I'll get the pulse on them the rest of the day. I don't know how they feel. Hopefully they're all good with it, because saving $24 million in cap space is the only reason we can sign Alec Pierce. That is the only reason we can sign Alec Pierce. All right. That tweet just got amended. The Bears signed defensive back safety Kobe Bryant to a 3-year, $40 million deal. 3-year, $40 million deal. All right, let's see if any of the rest of these are amended. Scroll down here. Nope. Already said that. Already said that. Looking good. Whoa, now we got stuff coming in again. All right. The punter deal. Here we go. Another punter deal for Pat McAfee. Former Dolphin punter Jake Bailey is signing a 3-year, $9 million deal with $5 million guaranteed with the Falcons. Dude, in that dome, he's going to be really good. In that dome, he will be very good. I do like that move. I absolutely do like that move. All right, let's see. Nope, nothing amended. So the specifics of everything, the specifics of how of the trade, as far as what picks were traded, still don't have. But that works. All right, the Lions are signing center Cade Mays, the former Carolina Panthers center, to help fill in the gap for that offensive line. Stuff's going to keep rolling in. It's going to keep rolling in. It absolutely is. We could stay alive, but here's, like I said, I mean, my wind therapy is calling. Okay? My wind therapy is calling. It's that simple. All right. Well, 90 minutes. Free agency. It's a frenzy. Gotta love it. Unfortunately, I gotta kick you back to ESPN. Sorry. But we will be back tomorrow to cover everything that I possibly can. Obviously, as we get in through the rest of today, we get into tomorrow. The next quarterback to drop, I'm guessing, is going to probably be, I don't know, between Tua and Kyler. If Tua's going to Atlanta, I think Atlanta's going to try to get him early. But I don't know if Tua's going to want to take that low of a pay. The Vikings may be semi-aggressive with Kyler. I don't know who the next quarterback's going to be. I don't know. Mitch Trubisky to the Titans, though, I do like that to back up Cam Ward. I do like that move. I definitely like that move. But, all right, let's get out of here. We could talk about this all day long. All right, and we probably will, and it will be talked about all day long. If anything big happens, I'll probably have a reaction on a short here on the channel. But, as always, I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Have an absolutely fantastic rest of your Monday, and we will talk to you tomorrow for day 2 of free agency frenzy in the NFL. Thank you ever so much. Take care of yourselves. If it's sunny like this, get the heck outside. Get some vitamin D and be happy. All right, guys. We will talk to you tomorrow for Sports Talk with Hawk. I am Hawk, and I'm out. See you then.